Today we are going to discuss about the concept called equation of continuity. This equation of continuity is somehow related with Bernoulli's theorem. In the later part of the lesson, we are going to learn about Bernoulli's theorem. Without learning equation of continuity, we can't learn about the Bernoulli's theorem. Here, this equation of continuity is related to the flow of liquids through a pipe. Here I have drawn a pipe in which in one end, A end, the area of cross section is A1. In the other end, B, the area of cross section is A2. So from the diagram, it is clearly understood that A1 is greater than A2. Okay. So when the liquid flows through the pipe, you have to assume that the liquid is moving in a streamlined motion. That incompressible liquid that is flowing through the pipe in a streamlined motion. Here, the velocity with which the flow takes place in the A end is V1. The velocity of the liquid is V1 in the end A. The same liquid, when it comes out from the end B, it is moving out with the velocity V2. So area of cross section is different, velocity is different. Here also area of cross section is different, velocity is different. From the picture, it is understood that A1 is greater than A2. What is the equation of continuity? That equation of continuity, that one says that mass of the liquid, what is it? Mass of the liquid flowing in the end A per unit time must be equal to mass of the liquid flowing per second or per unit time in the end B. Both of them will be equal. Again I will repeat. Finally we are going to prove that mass of the liquid flowing through the end A per unit time will be equal to mass of the liquid flows per second in the end B. Is it clear? Both of them will be equal. So that is the proof that we are going to derive finally. Here, to get the mass, how to get the mass? What is the fundamental formula? The liquid that has the density. So rho is density. Rho is equal to mass per volume. What is it? Rho is equal to mass per volume. That mass that could be obtained by cross multiplying the formula. Mass is equal to rho into volume. Are you clear? M is equal to density into volume. How will you get the volume? Here you have to assume a small cross sectional area. Are you clear? Draw one small cross sectional area and the thickness of that portion can be taken as dx. Are you clear? And the cross sectional area is already known, A1. So A1 dx, if both are multiplied, if area of cross section and dx, if both are multiplied, you will get the volume of that portion. Are you clear? So I can write it as A into dx can be written. So this is called as, what is this? A into dx, that gives you the volume. So here mass is obtained. Understood? So here in this particular portion, clear, to get the volume, clear, I have replaced V divided V in the form of A into dx. Look at that. On either side multiplied by dt. Are you clear? On either side what I have to do? I have to multiply the factor by dt. Mass divided by del T. Mass divided by del T is nothing but mass of the liquid flowing per unit time is equal to rho into A into dx divided by dt can be written. So in the next step, mass of the flowing liquid per unit time can be written as rho into A into the dx by dt. What is dx by dt? Here distance is there and time is there. If distance is divided by time, rate of flow. So clear, what is that? Rate of flow is nothing but velocity. So small v can be written. Understand the difference between capital V and small v. This one is volume, this one is velocity. So finally, we have got the formula that m divided by del T, mass of the liquid flowing per second or per unit time, is equal to, what is the formula? Rho into A into V. That formula you have obtained. Understood? So this is the formula. So here we have to prove that, in this context we have to prove that m by del T at A will be equal to m by del T at B. Are you clear? So that is a proof that must be given. Here in this factor, is it clear? We have this same factor that must be used, that must be written for end A as well as for end B. Are you clear? So I will write it as according to the law of conservation of mass. What is it? According to the law of conservation of mass, what should be written? Here in the textbook, in page number 82, clear that the context is given. Finally, all the assumption that must be based on law of conservation of mass. Are you clear? So M1, what is it? M1 can be taken as the mass. Are you clear? Mass of the liquid, M1. Therefore, M1, what is M1? Mass of the liquid flowing per unit time at end A. So M1 divided by del T must be equal to, what is this? M2 divided by del T must be written. So this is written with the help of law of conservation of mass. Understood? Here, now we can substitute this equation. Which equation? Instead of M1 divided by del T is equal to M2 divided by del T, this equation can be substituted. Understood? So here, what this factor that says? Mass of the liquid flowing per unit time at end A must be equal to mass of the liquid flowing per unit time at end B. So here, instead of this factor must be written. I will write it here. Rho A V is equal to rho A V. Here in this factor, which one is constant? Rho is constant. The liquid what it flows now in this end A, the same liquid that comes out, both rows are same. But here area of cross section is different. Therefore we can write it as A1. In the end B, area of cross section is different. Therefore A2 must be written. The velocity in the end A is V1. The velocity in the end V2, the end B is also V2. So therefore, finally you have obtained this equation in some other form. Understood? So on either side we can cancel both the two rows. So finally we can write it as the product of A1 V1 is equal to, what is this? A2 V2. Are you clear? So what this equation that gives? This product A1 V1 is equal to A2 V2. This is the final equation. This equation is called equation of continuity. Let us assign some number. With the help of the number, I will explain. For example, if the area of cross section A1 in the end A is 10 meter square, let us imagine like this. And the velocity of the liquid is V1 is equal to, let us assume that 5 meter per second. Multiply the value here in the formula 10 into 5. So that product, that value that gives you 50. Are you clear? That one should be equal to, let us assume that A2, what is A2? Area of cross section here. Tell me whether the area of cross section is lesser compared to A1 or not. So now the area of cross section must be reduced. Let us imagine it is 2. Are you clear? Here A2 can be taken as 2 meter square. Are you clear? Substitute here 2. 10 is reduced to 2 here. So automatically what happens to the velocity? Velocity will be increased. That one increases from 5 to how much? 25. So multiply both. So clear. Again you will be getting 50. That product is same, but the factors are changing. Are you clear? From the conclusion that when the area of cross section is more, clear, when the area of cross section is more, here the velocity is less. When the area of cross section is reduced, velocity will be more. So finally we can write it as V2 is greater than which one? V1. Since the area of cross section is lesser, automatically the velocity is increased. So this is the thing you should not forget. Are you clear? This is the very important thing. This one must be recalled again while learning about Bernoulli's theorem. Are you clear? So here the velocity is less, here the velocity is more. Here the area of cross section is more, here area of cross section is less. But the most important thing is, what is that? Mass of the liquid flowing per unit time in the A end will be equal to mass of the liquid leaving at the junction at the end B for time is clear equal. Both are equal. And we can prove that one more thing is also there. In the form of volume also we are able to prove. Is it clear? In the form of volume. How will you prove that? Is it clear? Same thing. The same notations must be used. Is it clear? Finally, we can say that volume of the liquid flowing per unit time. Volume of the liquid flowing per unit time will be equal to volume of the liquid leaving at the B per unit time will also be equal. Now at present this is sufficient. This equation is called, what is this? Equation of continuity. Are you clear? So finally we are proving that if one more end is extended, for example here A end is there, B end is there, if one more end is extended with the C end, with the area of cross section A3, what will happen? The same equation that can be further written as A1 V1 is equal to A2 V2, that one will be equal to A3 V3. Are you clear? If you going on reducing the area of cross section, automatically the velocity in the next end will also be increasing. So finally, ultimately we can write it as A into V is a constant. Are you clear? A into V is a constant. What is A into V is a constant? The product of the area of cross section and the velocity of the liquid. Are you clear? Both of them, that product is a constant. So finally we can write it as A is inversely proportional to V. Are you clear? Any doubt on this? When area of cross section is more, velocity will be less. When area of cross section is lesser, velocity will be more. Are you clear? Why it is called continuity? The mass of the liquid entering at A per unit time will be equal to the mass of the liquid leaving at B per unit time will be constant. Again I will repeat, volume of the liquid flowing per second per unit time will be equal to volume of the liquid leaving at B per unit time will be equal. Volume and mass both are same. It continues. There is no change in the volume as well as mass per unit time in both the end. Both of them must be same. But the factor velocity is changing. That's why this is called as equation of continuity.